These are all things that people are dealing with now. And she chose to ignore all of those things by saying she was middle class. What's middle class about having 2 doctors for parents? I'll never forget after the election, a lady was on Instagram like, oh, I don't want to go to sleep because I'm going to wake up a slave. Like, I saw a whole bunch of just ridiculousness. First off, Project 2025 has nothing to do with Donald Trump or his administration. He has denounced Project 2025. He has told the American public time and time again that that is not his agenda. His agenda was available on his website from day one. There were 25, points and plans of action for what he would do as president. And Project 2025 was not listed on there, not linked on there. It was never us. And unfortunately, the Democratic Party did a really good job at misinforming the public and pushing Project 2025 because it was put up or published by a conservative organization. The Heritage Foundation has been around since forever. All right. The original Project 2025 came out like 20 years ago. So it's not like this was a new thing. It's not like these were just super ultra conservative things and people just wanted to end the world one day, or they just thought Donald Trump would be the guy to do it. These people have been pushing for these principles, and it's a manifesto is a manifesto. And
this is going to be a good video. What's going on, everybody? My name is Jojo, and today we're talking about, is Trump a good president, and will he be good for the black community when he's in office? Shout out to Inside the Vault. This is their video. I'm going to link it down below if you want to see the full hour and 30-minute long video, because I'm not reacting to an hour and 30-minute long video. But I want to know, will Trump be good for the black community, and why is he, and why won't he be? I want to know. Without further ado, let's get into it.
And what we don't talk about is the fact that every large, either super liberal or super conservative group will produce a manifesto. It's basically them coming to the candidate saying, I have all of these votes and I have all of this money and we're willing to back you, but this is what we would like to see from you. This is what we stand for. The NAACP did the same thing with Joe Biden, and we saw nothing from their manifesto. So to think that the Heritage Foundation was going to approach Trump and we were going to see everything from their manifesto was just ridiculous. Now, moving forward, in regards to why people didn't trust her, the democratic process was skipped. And so it seemed like the Democratic Party was doing a lot of deflecting. We're going to blame Trump for everything that we're doing. Skipping over a primary is the most disrespectful, just showcase of we're getting rid of a democracy that I can think of. Because at the end of the day, all these people knew that Joe Biden's mental health was declining. All of these people knew that Joe Biden could not get in the stage and actually defend himself. All these people knew that Joe Biden was incompetent to continue to serve as president. Yet all these people, regardless of all the rumors that were going around, because remember, Trump was calling him Sleepy Joe. Trump was making fun of him for months. So Trump had already told us that Joe Biden needed to go, right? But everybody kept saying, oh, he's just a hater. Look at how childish he is. He's calling people names, da, da, da. Then we get to the debate stage and everybody sees for themselves, oh, snap, Trump was telling the truth and the Democrats were actually lying to us. Now, the Democrats did a really good job at getting ahead of their lie and just putting up Kamala Harris, hoping that we would shut up instead of questioning why in the world didn't y'all get Joe Biden out of the race sooner. And what's also interesting is the Democrats being really hush-hush on the fact that they pushed Joe Biden out and said that you cannot rerun, yet he's still sitting as our current president. And so that's why people did not trust Kamala Harris, because she literally forced her way in. Because had we had a primary, when she participated in the last primary in 2020, she only obtained 2% of the vote.
Nah, she's cooking. She's cooking right now. She's cooking right now. She's cooking right now. And what I love most about what she's saying is that I honestly can't tell whether or not she leans liberal or Republican. And the reason I bring that up is because she's just going off of what happened. She's literally just going off of what happened. Had it been an election, had the Democratic Party been able to decide whether or not Kamala Harris ran or not, she probably would have won. We don't know. They didn't give the choice. She was just kind of put into place. It was strange. And what she said about Trump, I mean, like, is she wrong? Is she wrong to say that? I'm not even putting my bias out there because I have personal beliefs about it. I have beliefs deeply in my soul that, I believe whatever. But she's speaking facts. She's speaking facts. Let me know what y'all think, though.
So had we did a primary again, Kamala Harris would have not been at the top of our ticket. If we're being honest, the people wanted Mark Kelly. If we're being honest, the people wanted Shapiro. If we're being honest, the people wanted to feel the burn again. People did not want Kamala Harris to be at the top of their ticket. And had we instituted a primary, we would have seen that. And whoever the Democratic Party did vote to be at the top of the ticket probably would have had a better chance at winning. Because at the end of the day, when we look at the popular vote, Kamala did do very well.
She did.
You know, and so if we had a candidate that more people resonated with, if we had a candidate that people could trust, then the Democrats probably would have taken this election. You know, and it's not because of policies. It would have literally just been off sensationalism. Joe Biden only won the first time because of sensationalism. Everybody swore that Trump was so bad and the world was over because much like people were crying after this election, they were crying after the last one. Oh, we did it. Everything's going to change. And now people are crying because what? They can't fill up their tanks. They can't put food on the table. They can't pay their mortgage. They can't find a second job to make up for the new money that they all of a sudden have to get. They can't afford the child care prices that spiked overnight. Like, these are all things that people are dealing with now. And she chose to ignore all of those things by saying she was middle class. What's middle class about having 2 doctors for parents?
She's frying, bro. She's frying. She's frying. That's facts. What is middle class for having 2 doctors for parents? I don't know one person who got 2 doctors for parents who's middle class. That's facts. That's facts. And I love that she's bringing this up because, and this is just my hypothesis. I saw a lot of rhetoric online after the election how people who voted for Trump are uneducated, they're stupid, they're idiotic, they don't have any degrees. I've seen a lot of rhetoric about how if it was just for people with college degrees who voted, then it would always be Democratic. And the reason I bring that up is because, and here, if you don't know me, I already have an engineering degree, and I'm getting another engineering degree right now. I graduate in May. I'm having a master's degree in May at the age of 23 years old. Yeah, so I'm pretty educated if you want to use diplomas or a meritocracy. The reason I have a problem with that is because educated people or people with degrees, I'm going to say people with degrees, tend to just naturally make more money. That's just what it is. And when you make more money, it's hard to notice when the economy sucks. And that's what I see on the Democratic side. I see a lot of people who, because they have degrees, they may have cushier jobs that make more money. They don't know when the economy sucks. So when they hear people saying the economy sucks, it's like they can't recognize it. It's like they can't empathize with that. And that's why Kamala Harris lost. Kamala Harris lost for statements like, I'm middle class. Kamala, you have never been middle class. Both of your parents got degrees from Ivy League schools. You are not middle class. I'm sorry. It's no way you're in. The fact that you think that's middle class is the reason that you lost. And this is not me hating. I'm just being real. You have to be able to empathize with the people that you want to represent. If you want to represent the American people, you have to understand how the American people think, how they live their day-to-day lives, how they're operating economically, spiritually, financially, socially. But it's like there's a disconnect there. There's a disconnect between this party and the American people's lives. And that's why they got flushed out. They got packed up. I'm going to be honest. They got packed up. It wasn't even close in the election. That's why. And this is just some advice for y'all if you want to get your party back up and running.
What's middle class about growing up in Canada and going to one of the best private schools that they have? What's middle class about any of that? And so trying to relate to the plight of people when you've never actually experienced the things that they're suffering through at the hands of your administration is why she lost. Not handling your duties as borders are. At the end of the day, you cannot deny the mess that's at the border. Yeah. And I think we had a lot of people not vote, not because of simple voter apathy, because we've been doing better these past couple of years, but a lot of people were conflicted. They can't deny their status quo, yet something in them told them they just couldn't vote for Trump. So they stayed home. They knew that staying home was basically a vote for Trump. But since they didn't physically cast that ballot, they felt better about their decision. Yeah. And so much like we saw with Stacey Abrams, there was a lot of sensationalism around Stacey Abrams. You have this black woman, HBCU grad. She's everything. She's going to be the first black woman female governor of Georgia. She went and she registered all these people to vote. 600,000 people were registered to vote under fair fight. Why did only 180,000 of them go vote for her? It's all just sensationalism. People love to show their support online. People like to follow trends. People like to look good on social media. People are not actually about that action.
But what about, like, as a mother to a daughter? What about the history that, having a woman president like that? Like, what about that?
We can have a woman president, just not her. I feel like when it comes to her, just by looking at her interviews and her current performance as VP, because we can sit here and pretend like a vice president can't do anything. The vice president is control of the Senate. For those of you who really know government, the Senate is low key more powerful than the president. Therefore, she had a lot of power to address a lot of the things that are affecting America. She chose not to. She was the tie breaking vote on a lot of things that unfortunately hurt America. And she was proud of that and said she wouldn't change anything about it. So when you look at how could, I be a mom and, support this or not want this woman to run, she just wasn't the best woman. And so it's like, while people are saying she would have opened doors for other black women to be the president, right? To me, I saw she would have got in there, messed it up, and they would have blamed everything bad on her. The economy tanks, it's all Kamala's fault. These children can't read, it's all Kamala's fault. In the same way we're blaming Trump for everything bad that's been going on for 20 years, Kamala would have got it way worse. And as black women, we know that's the truth. She would have got it way worse. And so while we would have loved to parade her as the woman who was going to open doors for other black women, if anything, she would have closed them for us, because people would have been like, nah, the last time we took a chance, we see what happened. So it's on us as black people to make sure we're propping up the best of the best. There was nothing, we didn't have all of this rhetoric around Obama. Obama could sit down for an hour interview with people who agreed with him and people who didn't, and he would turn out just fine. Obama could go into any crowd, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whoever, and make everybody love him. Kamala Harris did not have that appeal. She did not have that allure. She was not that captivating. And because of such, she wasn't the right person for the job. Hillary almost did it. And Hillary, to me, would have done a better job than Kamala Harris was saying that she was going to do. And if Hillary couldn't get in and she performed better on the campaign trail, I don't know why we thought for a second that somebody who had been on the campaign trail for less than 100 days was going to somehow take that office.
Yeah, I would say that they said Trump did that, but I wanted to just speak to something that you said. She made it in, and to be at the top of the ticket. So I think there was a host of.
She didn't make it in democratically. That's the thing. The process that should have taken place was skipped in order for her to be on top of the ticket,
which she made.
So they about to argue about that. I would add this. One point I would say is that Kamala Harris has been in office for 4 years. It's not about pushing her up and it'll make it worse for black women. Like, yeah, you could argue that. She might be right. I would just say this. People who didn't want her there is because she's been in office for 4 years and they don't think she did the best job the past 4 years. I'm not saying she did or didn't. I'm just going off of people's beliefs, but let's continue.
So I would just say, didn't make it. What I want to say is that, what is your thoughts in reference to the abortion and monitoring of your uterus, IVF, things of that sort?
So one, nobody's monitoring your uterus. That was something that was mentioned in Project 2025. And once again, that has nothing to do with the Trump administration. So we need to get away from that. Trump has got up and said, number one, that he believes in the exceptions. So rape, incest, and the life of the mother, abortion will always be available to those women. Trump has also said that 6 weeks is too early for a cutoff date because a lot of women are just finding out that they're pregnant at those 6 weeks. So Trump, just by himself, his recommendation is that states allow for exceptions and that states allow abortions past 6 weeks. Now, where they're going to cap it at, that's left up to the states. Now, when we talk about IVF, Trump also got up and said that IVF will now be federally funded and your insurance, if you are insured, will be forced to cover IVF. So to say that we're going to get rid of IVF is ridiculous because only under us is IVF going to be more accessible and more affordable for women who have dreams of becoming a mother. Now, when it comes to the abortion debate, period, abortion itself is rooted in racism. So why black people are the main proponents of abortion? Well, maybe not us. Let me not say that. I think that it's the media who makes it seem like black people are the main proponents of abortion. Because black women, if we're both single mothers, clearly we have our babies, regardless of how hard things might be, but they're pushing us to not have our babies. And it's been like that since its inception. Now, if we look at the goal of the KKK, if we look at the goal of COINTELPRO, if we look at the goals of all these super major races, it was always to exterminate the black race and to prevent the upcoming of a new messiah. Nobody that was going to be able to lead us and show us how bad things are and get us out of this social minds and start worrying about things that are important,
Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. So when we're talking about abortion and we look at the fact that they were trying to exterminate us and keep us, disillusioned and disarray, chaotic, That's exactly what abortion does. First of all, 50% of us are never born thanks to abortion. If you add up the statistics from gun violence, heart attack, stroke, cancer, high blood pressure, HIV, and AIDS, all of those numbers added together still fail in comparison to how many of us die at the hands of abortion. Next, less than 1% of abortions are because somebody was raped in an instance of incest, or because the life of the mother was, impacted.
She's cooking, man. She's really cooking. Wow, she's smart. I'm not gonna lie, she's extremely intelligent. That's crazy. So right now she's basically going to the statistics about abortion rates in the black community, and she's actually teaching me a lot. A lot of the stuff I didn't know. And one thing I really do enjoy about I don't even know her name. This woman is that she's just intellectually honest. She's extremely intellectually honest. She's bringing up real points. She's not talking about how she feels. She's talking about real life numbers that really affect us. But let's continue.
80% is coercion. And so it's not because a woman got pregnant and was like, I don't want no baby, I'm not ready to be a mom. It's she was sitting there and dealing with the complex emotions that come with being pregnant. And in doing so, she had all this outside influence. The father, maybe her family members, maybe her friends, telling her that having a baby is not a good look for her. Now, unfortunately, you see these other races aren't telling their women that. If a young Mexican girl gets pregnant, while the family won't celebrate her being irresponsible, they will not let that baby go without. They will come together as a village. The same thing with an Asian. The same thing with white people. Whether or not the family is happy with her decision, they will still come together to make sure that that baby has whatever that it needs. The village, the community will come back. Only with black people do we not do that. Grandma don't grandma no more. Grandma in the club with you. You feel me? Auntie don't auntie no more because auntie trying to find her man because she spent her youth raising kids too. Mamas ain't grandma no more like they used to because mom is young or mom is impacted by all these different societal effects. So when it comes to abortion and access to abortion, when you look at all these people who are screaming, we need abortion, why? Why? Because if I just told you that abortion is only necessary in 1% of cases, why do you need abortion so bad? Why was abortion an issue that should have driven me to the polls? Let's talk about you screaming about abortion screams, I want to be irresponsible. Because now, as we saw in the wake of the election results, you saw women saying, oh, we need to stop having sex with men. Oh, we need to stop dating men. Or, oh, we need to do this. What's wrong with filtering out the men that are in your life? So for me, hold on, baby, you got to sit down. Sorry, y'all. Problem. Maya, you gotta go sit down. I see your cartoons. You gotta go sit down. So
We keeping that in there too.
really like, so it's like, what was I about to say?
And sometimes we lose sight of perspective. So it's so many things that are taking place, and I wish that people would just understand that. And that's why it is important. For one, I'm glad we're able to have this conversation.
Yeah.
And I want to salute y'all. And I've been watching, and just because I want to listen, I want to learn, but I'm also watching a dynamic that breaks our community up.
That's facts. I fast forwarded in the video to a part that I found intriguing by the title. It's called Dialogue Fosters Understanding and Overcoming Divisive Political Differences. I really want to understand that because I've noticed, especially in the previous elections, there's been a lot of divisiveness. There's been a lot of polarity in communities, because if you're voting over here, you isolate the people voting over here, or if you vote over here, you're isolating the people voting over here. It's been a lot of back and forth, and I want to know what they think about it.
That's why this panel and this discussion is so important, because I watched, I ain't gonna say her name, but she went, to your point, she's very well known. She's married to a football player and a former football player. And she was like, if you voted for this particular individual, you're not my friend, you're not my family, don't call me. Like, you just disowned everybody because of a choice.
Yeah.
Which is also the reason why I feel like people won't vote properly.
Yeah.
No matter if it's Trump, Biden, Kamala, whoever, they won't vote properly because you don't want to be shunned out of your community. So we don't.
A lot of people stay home.
But they're also a bigger part of the problem.
Yeah.
But because the thing that I hate, barbershop talk.
Yeah. I want to know much.
Choose which one is your poison. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like the great the evils, which I feel is very destructive, it's divisive, and it's disappointing.
Yeah.
For me, you know what I'm saying? And I hope that based on this dialogue, we can advance and move further to try to look at policy for what it is, how it actually aligns, what serves your beliefs, your family, your structure, your community, all of these things that are extremely important that we don't necessarily dive into because guess what? I'm a smart politician. I'm going to play off your emotions.
Mhm.
I'm a smart politician. I know what's going to set you off. I'm a smart politician. I know how I'm going to get to you, Ash.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch you here. I'm going to do whatever. And we spend so much time in emotion going back and forth
Yeah.
that we don't necessarily get to the root.
Mhm.
And I'm just glad, I want to salute everybody in this space right now because it's not an easy thing to do.
Sure.
And to still be able to look at that person with love
Yeah.
and honor and dignity, but not going there based on your beliefs or anything else. Because I know for me, I wouldn't be able to have friends. I wouldn't be able to have, a lot of relationships that I have based on my beliefs. And I'm not talking religion. I'm not talking politics. I'm talking about morals, value, and principles.
See, that's
I really like what they're getting at. They're basically saying you shouldn't be so quick to cut your friends and family off based off of something that can be talked about. But let's continue.
that's the rhetoric that I'm hearing. Like people who are online saying that they can't be friends with somebody who voted for Trump is because of that. They're saying because of oh, he's a racist, he's a fascist, he's a sexist, and all of these he's a convicted felon and all this other stuff.
What about how racist we are?
Right.
Yeah.
You ever thought about?
But I just feel like black people acted so disgusted at folks who voted for Trump, but they still let the molesting uncle eat at Thanksgiving dinner.
Right.
I just
Oh my god. That was a crazy thing to say. That was she got a point. She got a point. That was crazy. That was crazy.
just feel like y'all are so mad at Trump, but y'all auntie who sleep with everybody's husband is still open arms at the cookout. Y'all are so upset about Trump, but your son who be sliding on the ops is right here sitting next to you at Christmas. Like,
Oh my god, she's still going. This is so true. I can't believe she said that. I can't believe she said that. But she has a point. She has a point. If you have gang banging relatives, people in your family that you know are bad people, they are out here really doing crime, and you don't say nothing, but then you're crucifying people who voted for Trump or whatever. That's a little hypocritical, if I'm being honest. That's a little hypocritical. If you have, this is crazy. Wow. I never even looked at it from this perspective, but she is spitting, bro. That's crazy.
we're willing to cut people off political choices, but we won't say anything to the people in our families who are actively causing harm to others, whether it be in our family, our community, or just to overall the human race, period. So it's like if you're a molester, a pervert, if you are a killer, if you are somebody who doesn't respect the sanctity of marriage and you just all here taking everybody, man, like, why is it that we celebrate you? Why is it that we can align ourselves with you, even though that might not be morally what we agree with, or that might not be something that we could see ourselves doing, or if we knew anybody else was a rapist, we'd be disgusted. But because it's our cousin, all of a sudden it's all, well, we don't know what happened, or oh, she fast, and tell the little girls they got Jezebel spirits and stuff like that. And it's just that to me is why I just can't respect any of what I see now, because I know growing up how many stories I heard of little girls and little boys talking about their babysitter or their cousin or their aunt or uncle touching them inappropriately and it just being brushed under the rug. Why
She is going crazy, bro. If y'all want to see the rest of this video, y'all gotta go to their channel. It's called Inside the Vault. The video title is Trump presidency is a Trump presidency good for the black community? This was a crazy video, and whoever this is, she's going places, bro. She's smart. Wow. I never even looked at it from that perspective. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. My name is Jojo, and I'll talk to you later.